Hey guys, it's Ken Scott, Senior U.S. Immigration Law Intelligence Analyst with www.usentryWaiverServices.com. And let's get right into this important topic so you guys don't get jammed up at the U.S. border. All right, guys, so today I had a call from a potential client. She's in Ontario, and long story short, she's crossing the border. She has a DUI conviction. Okay, whatever. And the guard was asking her to elaborate. Well, her DUI was for alcohol, which that's fine, whatever. So he let her in, but he told her next time something to the effect that she needs to uh, show more proof it's alcohol, something along those lines. That's the gist of it. But the point is, um, I've known this for at least 15 years. I've never made a YouTube video on this topic, never talked about this topic because, and CBP, if they're watching this video, they're going to be pissed when I say this. I didn't want to let these newer officers know about this, for lack of better words, trick. Being a former law enforcement officer and former federal officer myself, I mean, I know DUI just like Donald Trump knows real estate. I mean, it's like back of our hands. In the USA, more so in Washington State, when I was a law enforcement officer there, um, there's something when you do a traffic, first of all, you do a traffic stop for DUI. I've already been trained in how to do the field sobriety test and stigma glaze. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation of it. So I got that knocked down. But also, when you do a DUI, DUI stands for driving under the influence. And that's alcohol, or let's just say weed. The border officer doesn't know if it's alcohol, weed, and for years they missed that loophole. And I purposely never said anything because I'm thinking, I can't believe these guards are missing this over these years. So I just kept quiet. I just kept quiet about it. Technically, that officer was right when he was asking her what was the reason why she had the DUI was because of alcohol or drugs. And I'm just a bit choked that now they've caught onto this loophole. But anyway, getting back when you're a law enforcement officer on the streets, when you do a DUI as a law enforcement officer, if you think the person is under the influence of, let's say, marijuana, you call in what's called a DRE, Drug Recognition Expert Officer. The special training you have to have. I never had that, but you call them the DRE, at least that's what they used to call it. They probably still call it the same thing. And then they have to do that. They have their own set of things they do to tell if you're under the influence of like a narcotic or a drug or whatever. That's why when they say DUI, it's driving under the influence, whether it's influence of alcohol or drugs. Well, technically, alcohol is a drug, but that's another story. So even told her and her sister, they're both on the phone. I told them both that you need to be very wary of these Ontario discount waiver companies because I say if you had told this story to them, they would immediately try to shove a waiver down your throat, not knowing whether you need a waiver or not, just to make a sale. So I'm putting this video out to you guys and I'm letting you guys know firsthand. If it's a DUI for alcohol, you do not need a U.S. waiver. I'm gonna say it again. If it's a DUI for alcohol only, you do not need a U.S. waiver. Here's where it gets tricky though. It's a DUI because you were high on weed, you smoked up. Now you're getting into different territory, even though it's technically driving under the influence. The officer at the port of entry, he's going to use that DUI conviction as a fishing expedition, or what he could do. I kind of hate saying this part because some of these officers are watching this. This is going to be a training video for them, but it is what it is. So if he can get you to articulate um, what happened in terms of the event, what was the substance that you consumed, be it beer, wine, he doesn't care about that. But you took that or did a rail on the table and you were high, by you admitting to the fact that you were high, that's why you got your DUI, you are now inadmissible for that. And it's not so much for, you're not inadmissible for the DUI itself. You're inadmissible now for drug possession or admitting to drug usage, things along those lines. That's how they're going to get you. So, like I said, for years, these administrations have missed this loophole, and I purposely kept quiet about it. I knew they were missing it. Now it sounds like they're not missing it as much. So even you guys that have a conviction for driving under the influence, or even a charge where you're not convicted, if you get an officer who's, and I hate saying this part, but if you get an officer who's sharp, does his job correctly, like for example, if I'm the officer and I see you have a DUI charge where you're not convicted, I'm going to pull you aside and try to get you to elaborate on what was the substance behind it. Like what drug did you use, be it alcohol or weed. So if you tell me as an officer that it was weed, now I got you for admitting to drug usage, and I just made you inadmissible, and I just got another stat for the day. And again, if officers are watching this, they're going to use it as a training video, say, damn, Ken Scott's right. But that's the risk I run, right? So, and you guys with DUI charges and or convictions, if he knows what he's doing, he can technically pull you aside and ask you questions about that, or say, prove to me that it's not marijuana, not a drug, or prove to show me exactly what was the substance. So, and you show it's marijuana, cocaine, whatever, you are now inadmissible for drug usage and possession. The DUI was basically what he used to go on a fishing trip, in other words. The end result was you're inadmissible for the drug usage as per the DUI conviction. It's a big distinction. Another thing about these DUIs, even for alcohol, let's say you have DUIs close together. I'll just go on a limit, say 3 close together. If he knows his job, he can pull you aside and get you to elaborate on why you have so many close together. And if he can articulate the fact that you yourself have a drinking problem, you're an alcoholic, they can turn you around technically for that, for being an alcoholic, because that's under a different category under the immigration code. So that's going to have to be dealt with differently. I don't want to get into that. That's another video. But bottom line is, you guys really should try not to get anything on your criminal record, charge or conviction. So I'm gonna do another one about assault, because that's another way they can get you too. And that one can be a little tricky too. So bottom line is, call us before you call these discount waiver companies. Ken Scott, Senior, U.S. Immigration Law Intelligence Analyst, www.usentryWaiverServices.com. That's 888-908-3841 or 604-562-8140. So I'm gonna get going, guys, and live long and prosper.
Hotline. If you are obsessive compulsive, press 1 repeatedly.